Really interesting article released on ESPN this week about how mid-major Division One head coaches are dealing with their players getting bigger opportunities at high major programs. Sion James, who went on to start at Duke and have a great year on a team that made a Final Four, was kind of used as one of the poster boys of this, the featured player image on the article. But have some quotes here from a friend of the program, Mr. Drew Valentine, who's come on the Sleepers Network a couple times. Everybody knows Cart and I are really close with Drew on a personal level as well. We've known each other a little bit from growing up in Lansing together and some family connections. So we're big Loyola fans. Everybody knows this, no surprise. But this is what Drew had to say about the state of college basketball right now. Really, really interesting quote. He said, quote, "In February, I had two guys, the best guys that I could get back next season, who were showing me vanish mode DMs from coaches. I'm not going to name names, but I called a couple of Power Five coaches directly and said, can you please wait until after the season at least? We've got regular season games left." End quote. I want to get your thoughts on this. Before I throw it to you, I do want to say this. I have not reached out to Drew about this at all. There are definitely certain things we might talk about on the channel that I would reach out to him about and just make sure I go a certain direction, or I don't know, don't reveal too much. So anything I say in this video is my own personal interpretation of everything. I straight up have not talked to Drew about this. What a quote, though. I was reaching out to coaches midseason saying, hey, can you just wait on our two best guys? What do you make of this?
Yeah, I think it's the right move, right? Like, I think if you're Drew Valentine, obviously, I don't know him, so I don't want to put words in his mouth, especially with you and Carr having a personal relationship with him. But like, I would assume any mid-major coach is trying to coach their way to the high major level, right? Like, the goal is to get Power Four or whatever. Like, you're at one of the biggest programs in the country. That's what everybody wants to do, or the next level, so on and so forth. Everybody has goals, right? It's hard to achieve your goals if your best players are worried about where they're going to play next year. And I think that's really all he's saying. I don't have any issue with the comment. I don't think he's trying to take away from his guys either. I think the whole thing is like, hey, like, I get it. You're about to take my two best players. That's the nature of the beast at this point. I know I'm going to lose my guys, but could you at least let us complete our goals as a team before you do it?
Right. So, first off, again, I am biased. I make no lies about that, right? I do think this is a great example of why I believe truly that Drew is one day going to be an extremely successful high major head basketball coach, or just why he's fun to play for now, even if you just want to assume this is where he ends up. Look, I think Drew has an ability to keep things real and present them in a very honest way, a very transparent way that sees through the bullshit that is Division One college basketball in 2025. I think it's almost a prerequisite for some of the best coaches in this sport to lie, to be, I don't know, deceitful, to have selfish interests at heart. And look, I'm not going to say that Drew doesn't have his own best interests at heart at all times. I'm sure every good coach has to. But one of the things that I just think is unique about him with how young he is and who he is as a human being, not just a coach, is that he will not bullshit you. He flat out will not bullshit you. He talks to you like he's close in age to a lot of his players, truly. And he's been around players that have come through college and gone on to successful NBA careers. Drew's not going to, I don't know, pretend that a player has to stay at Loyola in order to get to the NBA, right? He's aware of the situation. He's going to be honest about all this. So I think it's really refreshing to hear his approach to all of this. And it's cool and unique and something that would make me, if I'm a mid major recruit, want to go play for Drew Valentine. The more interesting thing to me, and again, have not reached out to Drew, the more interesting thing to me is who are these two players? Because I mean, there's one obvious one. Jaden Dawson is at Kansas now.
Hmm.
And I don't think when Jaden Dawson committed to Kansas, I don't know how many people thought he would get an offer like that. So I almost wonder if maybe Bill Self was one of those coaches that was having a conversation with Drew Valentine back in the summer or in February, whatever timeline was. My guess, Dion, is that the second player is still at Loyola.
Probably. Yeah,
'Cause it should be
probably.
Miles Rubin, who is literally good enough to be one of the best high major centers in the country, and a guy that, I mean, I firmly believe has had high major interest since his freshman year, but has stayed at Loyola because of what Drew has been able to do for him personally. So that's my guess.
I mean, respectfully, given some of the starting centers across the high major level, like I'm staring at you, Louisville. Great team. You could use Miles Rubin. You know what
Right.
I mean? Like some of the starting centers, like he definitely is a high major starting center. I think um I do want to say this. I know you and Carter are very close to Drew. I love Drew in terms of what he's doing. If he was at Kansas, he also would be making phone calls mid-season, though, too, for what it's worth. Like, I think he's playing his cards perfectly from a mid-major level in terms of like, hey, this is the nature of the beast. Please leave my players alone. Because he knows what the nature of the beast is and he's willing to say it. Imagine if he was a high major coach. Like this quote to me screams like if I'm a high major team. I would want him because he gets it. We talk about coaches that understand the NIL, the portal era, so on and so forth. He's telling you with this quote, I get it. Imagine if he was at a high major school that had all the funding, so on and so forth. He gets it. And like I said, yeah, he would also be making phone calls in January and February trying to get guys for sure.
Sure. And he will be one day. It's going to happen. But one clear difference, though, he won't need vanish mode when he's at a high major school. Drew will stand on business. He'll let everybody know what he's doing, and
Yeah,
you won't need to hide anything Drew Valentine's building. You know,
he doesn't need to. He's charismatic and polarizing from that sense. That's why Miles Rubin's probably still there, by the way.
right? Exactly.